Hey, welcome to Talk Tuesday. Today's topic, breaking financial patterns you didn't choose. And we're talking about that. Why? Because a lot of financial habits we didn't choose, but we follow them. We don't even realize it. So we continue them, not realizing something that we didn't. So just stay tuned. I don't want to get into it just yet. One sec. Hey, welcome to Talk Tuesday. I'm Coach D, your financial coach, and I want to help you to reach and exceed your financial goals while still enjoying life in the process. So, today, our topic is breaking financial patterns you did not choose. And a lot of times, and this is not about blame, let's start there. It's not about blame, just about awareness because it's a pattern we've seen growing up. Hey, how are you? It's not about, patterns that, you know, that we're doing. It's about patterns that we don't realize. So something we've seen growing up could have been a grandma, a grandpa, a parent, a sibling, a aunt. It could be anyone, friends, people you grew up seeing do things, and you thought that was the way to do it. So that's what you were doing, or you maybe didn't even decide it. It's a matter of I saw someone do it like this, and then I just started doing it like this. I thought that's how it was supposed to be. So today we're going to talk about a couple habits or a couple patterns, not habits, patterns that we didn't realize that, we're doing, and they are affecting our finances. Okay? So, let's get to it already. All right, so number 1. Now this is one we talk about often, but it's still a pattern that maybe didn't start with us. It could be something we've seen growing up. Avoiding our numbers. So, if you were in a house and maybe, I don't have anything I could use. I wasn't prepared to share something, but just like say a bill comes in, we don't open it, we don't look at it. We'll look at it on Friday when we get paid. That could be something that you've seen. So then, that gets you in the pattern of not looking at your bills when they come in and you are, look at them on Friday. But that habit is not a good habit because what if you look at it on Friday and the bill was due on Wednesday? So then now you've paid it late. What if it was due last week? What if it got lost in the mail? Like anything. So we need to open it. If it's not something we're familiar with, we're not realizing, the due date, if we don't know every bill, like this bill is due on the first, this is due on the 7th, this is due on the 8th. So opening it is very important so that we can make sure it's paid timely. We're able to see if, let's say, I didn't have enough money for it. So now I can plan to make sure I'm saving money from this check to go with it on this check so I'm able to pay it. So that's a big one. That's one that most of my clients I see, pattern that they have. They don't look at it. They don't look at their finances. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna look. No, I didn't check that statement. I don't want to see it. I know what I did. I know what I'm doing." So then when we actually do it, we actually look and they see it like, wow. So that's something that, I start with everyone. That's a big one. Number 2, reacting instead of planning. So that's very similar to an example could be when your bank account or your not bank account, but your financial institution, because it could be a credit union. But they send you an alert like, hey, this account's below $20, or and we can set alerts. So I hope you set alerts. Let's start there. When your account set alerts, so you're reminded of things, so you're not getting alerted when your account's in the negative, or when they have to pull from your savings, because if you have it set up as an auto draft. But anywho, this one is reacting instead of planning. So when things happen, then you're like, oh, let me open up my account. Let me see. Then you pull your phone up and you're going to move some money, transfer some money, and do things like that. But it's all about planning. Plan your month out. Having that budget that we don't like to have, or call it, financial plan. Whatever it is a plan for your finances. Let it be for the month. Let it be for the year, whatever it is. But look at it, check it out, adjust it. So you are planning. So if you know your bills are this much for the month, let's say 4,000, your income could be 5,000. Hey, how are you? Um, so just planning it out, knowing what your income is versus what your expenses are, and make sure they're not the opposite. So you can make adjustments, and that's the whole point of planning. So if you can see that the stuff is unbalanced, you can do other things. Thank you. You can do other things. So you could, maybe save here or not do something, if you need the extra money, or you can see that you have extra money. You can do some other things. So it doesn't always have to be something bad, but planning so you know what's going on so you are not reacting to something afterwards. That could be something that's coming out and you don't realize it's coming out this week. Maybe it's an annual bill. Number three, starting over repeatedly. A lot of times we'll do this with our finances once something, doesn't go as planned. All right, I'll start again later. I've already messed up. Why not just let's go out? Let's go out to dinner, or let's go shopping. Let's go get that thing I've been talking about getting, or, something like that. So don't start over, stay the course. Fix what happened. Let's say you went over and you had to pull money from your savings. That's okay. You don't have to start completely over. And a lot of times when we get frustrated and we say we're going to start over and we kind of give up because, it's not going as planned, what we're doing is making it harder for ourselves because what we mess up in that moment that we are in our feelings, so to say, is setting us even further back. So let's say you were doing wonderful with your savings, but something happened with your vehicle and you had to pull out an extra 200 or something like that. So then you're mad and you're like, well, let's go out to eat. And then you spend, maybe 150. So now instead of having to make up 200 in your savings, you're making up 350. And at that moment we don't care, but when we get back to it and when we start over, then we're seeing that we actually made it worse for ourselves, and it's going to take us a little bit longer to get back to where we were because we set ourselves back even further. So don't let your emotions get the best of you. Just keep on going and pick up where you are, move forward. Don't stop, don't quit, don't say I'm going to start over. It's May now, so people should probably stop saying it, but I'm going to get myself together when I get my taxes. When I get my taxes. So, that's what a lot of people will say, kind of let things fall. And, that's usually around the holiday times, spending way more than they should be spending because they're going to get it together tax time. So let's not start over. Let's keep going. All right. So that's why we have our systems. That's why we have our budget. That's why we have our financial plan if we don't want to refer to it as a budget. It's important to look at it and make adjustments so that it can always work in our favor as much as possible. Of course, things come up unexpectedly, so it won't always be perfect. However, it will be better than doing nothing. I promise you. All right, the last one I have. As a matter of fact, before I get into the last one, who voted today if it's voting in your state? That's where I'm going right after our live. That's why I have 4 topics instead of 5 because I'm like, I gotta get to the polls. Who voted? I hope you all did. And every year I always say, like, if you voted, I have a little something for you. And this year is no different. If you voted and you can send me like what can I say that you can show me you voted? I can't say sticker because people can Google a picture of a sticker and send it to me. I don't know how you can. Maybe if you can send me a picture like with your face in the sticker or something like that. You did. I see I. So you voted. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Exciting. So if you did vote, seriously, you can send me a message on any of the social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, what else? LinkedIn, wherever you're at, and I will send you a little something because I love that. We need to get out and vote, regardless of who you're voting for. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but we got to vote. We have to go out and vote. Okay. Oops, you didn't vote. Oh man, you have to vote. There's still time. On my way after this live. Yes, yes. I'm listen. Since I have been old enough to vote, I have made every election primary, every election except for one. So I'm out there. Whenever I find out, I'm looking at things, I'm looking them up, I'm comparing. I want to see what we're saying, what we're doing. Not just what we're saying, but what we're doing, what we're doing, and not just around election time, what we were doing 6 months ago before we were running for election. So, yeah, so I don't want to, talk a lot about that, but definitely go out and vote if you didn't. And if you did, send me a picture with yourself and your sticker, and I will send you a little something. All right, and include your email, then I could just send it over via email. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, well, I'm glad to see, we're talking about it. But the last one I have, a financial pattern that you didn't choose that you might be following, is believing that financial stability is only for the rich. It's not for me. It's for those people, not me. It's for the people who have a lot of money. But what we fail to realize when we say that is, I'll go after PJs or dress code. Well, just long as you make it, I'm excited for you. I'm glad you're going. But we'll say, like, that's, having your finances together, that's something for the rich. They have the money, they can afford to pay all their bills on time, they can afford to save and things like that. But what we don't realize, their expenses match their income or their savings and things like that. So let's say someone who makes about $2,000, their expenses are about what they make, or roughly in that space. Someone who makes, well, I probably shouldn't have said it like that, but your income goes with your expenses. Did I say that? Come, this train is throwing me off. The What you make is about what your expenses are. So when you make more, your expenses are going to increase, because you're naturally, people, what they'll do is, as soon as they make more money, they're spending more money. Like, oh, all right, so now I'm making more. I'm going to go get a new car that costs double because I can afford it because I make more. But what we're doing is keeping ourselves in that same cycle of having our expenses close to our income, which keeps us tight, which has us a low amount of money that we're able to save, or slowing us down from paying debt off. So there's different things. So it's for everyone. Anyone who has a financial plan, just like someone with a lot of money can do things, someone who doesn't have a lot of money can still do things. It might take them longer. They might have to do things, a different way. It might not take them, it might not be as easy. Whereas someone who's making more, maybe they can just stop doing something that costs, a lot of money. So it's freeing up a lot more money for them. However, someone who's making less money can still stop doing something that can free up some more money for them, and it will take them longer, but it's possible. Okay, so don't think because you're not making $1 million that you can't do what someone else is doing, because you can. And we got to get that out of our head too, because we can do it. So yes. All right, so I hope these patterns helped you to think about it. And a lot of them we do. A lot of them we sometimes do. We don't realize it, and we'll keep doing it because that's what we saw, or what we, came easy to us, and we don't realize that how it's affecting us and our results on our financial goals. So we just, we're doing them until someone points it out, like, you didn't look at your bank statement in 6 months, or you didn't. What else do people don't do? You're like, just things that we should be doing. You don't check your receipts. You don't look at your emails to see when things are coming out. You don't know your due dates. You can't just say this bill comes out on this date. You don't even know around about when it's coming out. So it's just important to be in the know of everything that's going on with our finances as much as we can. Of course, we can't know every single thing, but knowing more helps us to make better decisions, helps us to have better progress. Check your credit card statements. That's another one. That's another one, because our credit cards are, what are we usually saying? I'm going to just save my money and use my credit card. The credit card is your money too. And you're actually going to be paying interest on that if you don't pay it back right away. So, yeah, check those things. Know what's going on with your finances, and realize the patterns that, you are following, because sometimes we don't realize it. Like, maybe I saw him not opening up that bill. Didn't realize that I don't open bills. Maybe I saw them decide which bill's going to pay, they're going to pay, and then now I'm deciding which bill I'm going to pay because I'm going out. You don't realize things that happen because of what you saw. Amazon just took money out stating that I did not return something. I removed my card and canceled today, and she refunded me right away. See, but that comes from checking. That comes from checking. So that's good. It's unfortunate you had to go through that, but I'm glad you got your money back, because if you don't pay attention to stuff like that, you won't know. If you're not looking at your bank account and there's money in there and it's enough money that won't trigger an alert, or trigger, an email, a text, or anything like that, you might not realize it if you're not looking at your bank statements. So that was a perfect example of just checking things and paying attention to what's happening with our bank account. Because it could be something that you were charged double for. It could be something that's supposed to be quarterly and it came out every month. It could be different things that could be happening. So that was a perfect example. perfect example. So let's talk, have a reflection question. What did I grow up seeing around money? You can just think about that. What did I grow up seeing as it relates to money? Think about that. You can write it down or just think about it and realize, like, wow, I didn't realize how that affected me or how I'm doing this because I saw that. Another one, what pattern do I want to stop repeating? I was about to say for most, but I don't want to step into your pattern that you want to stop repeating. So, but just think about those things. I always like to leave you with something to think about. So take a moment, think about it, write it down if you have a financial journal, which I hope you do. If not, go to my website because I have some. And let's see. Oh, I have one here to remind you all. I believe I remind you all last week, but I'm gonna remind you again. In July, we're celebrating our 5-year business anniversary. We will be having a celebration, which will be it's going to be a fun night. Virtually, we'll play some games, have some prizes while learning about finances. Of course, because it has to be tied to finances. So save the date, July 8th. It's a Wednesday. I think I overchecked my accounts waiting for them to limit me. Now, that's another one too. Overchecking it. So with overchecking it, it's like you're I don't want to say stressing yourself, but you might be looking for something that's not coming, or if you know something's coming, then just make sure the money's over there. And I had to see what time it was because I gotta vote. But yeah, but that's something that we do. Over checking our accounts. We're looking, I would say for something like that, I would say set limits for yourself. Like, hey, I'm only gonna check, at this time. Or I'm only gonna and you can set alerts too. Like we talked about earlier, set alerts on your accounts so that you're alerted when things happen so you don't have to feel like you have to check. Like if you want to, like you can set alerts for, once my account goes under 500 or, once my account goes under 20 or once if there's a transaction, something comes out that's over $100 or if they're like, you can set all of these and that will help you from stopping to, well, it could help you out. But I think that's something you could try to set some alerts so anything that you're looking to see or, checking to make sure if it happened or didn't happen yet, that alert will help you. So then you'll get a text message. Or you can say you want to get an email. And another cool thing you can do with the alerts, you can set times like I don't want any alerts before 7 a.m. or I don't want any alerts after 9 p.m. So then your bank won't send them to you at crazy times of the night, but then you'll be able to still get your alerts. So try that. Log in and see if you can set up your alerts. So whatever it is you're checking for, you can be alerted of it. So then you'll be alerted right away. Oh, thank you. Yes, 5 years, 5 years. I'm excited. I'm excited. There has been some rough times, but we hang in there, keep going because we are here to for a purpose. Here for a purpose. Because I enjoy when someone sends me like a screenshot, like, "Hey, look at my credit score went to this," or my savings reached this, or So I just love it. I just love it. So, but yeah, save that date. And if this conversation helps you to realize a pattern that you are doing, you know, or made you aware of it, look, that's why I created. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm excited. So come to the celebration because again, we're going to have some fun. There are going to be some prizes. And I have like a little announcement I want to make. Woo. I'm really late, but I will listen to the replay. Yes, we're almost finished. And before you cut out, you have to let me know if you voted. So thank you for commenting. So I know that you're here. And let's see, congratulations. Thank you. What's the date again? It is July 8th. It's a Wednesday. And it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. I had to check. 7 p.m. Eastern. Because, I have people who are on the West Coast also. So I have to say Eastern. All right. So if this was helpful or made you aware of things, I also have the financial help check, which is to make you aware of all things finances. It's a 3-page PDF. Now download it. Go to my website, enhancingyourfinances.com. Download it, but don't just download it, do it so you can get your numbers and see what you're supposed to be doing. A lot of people download it. Oh, I'm going to fill it out in a second. Set a deadline and actually do it, or fill in the numbers that you know, and then get the numbers that you don't know soon. Don't let too much time go by and then you don't fill it out, because that's the purpose of becoming aware of what's going on with our finances. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you guys, as always, for being here for Talk Tuesday. We are here on YouTube every week at 6 p.m. Eastern. And this month, our topic, I'm scrolling up to see what our topic for the month is: the money she models. So that was inspired by Mother's Day. So we're talking about things to do with our finances in the household as a parent, related to our children, and different things like that. So this month, that's what we're doing. So that's why we're talked about the financial patterns. We spoke about I forget what we spoke, already forget what we spoke about last week that fast. But everything was tied to the money she models. So thank you for tuning in. And I want to put a little QR code up here for the uh, financial help check. So you can scan it if you're watching the replay. If not, of course, go to enhanceyourfinances.com. You don't even have to scroll down. The button's right there. Have a great evening. Don't forget to send me a picture of yourself with your sticker if you voted, and send me your email so I can send you over something for voting. All right. I'm going to go vote. See you guys next week.